Hey guys, it's Nia,
And Kara.
and today we're doing a book review of the book The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. So, here we go. The Hate You Give is about a black girl named Star Carter who lives in a poor neighborhood. One night at a party, she catches up with an old friend, Khalil. As they drove home to escape the shooting that broke up the party, and as they reminisce, a policeman pulls them over. One thing leads to another, and despite the fact that Khalil was doing nothing wrong, the policeman shoots Khalil and kills him. Star now has to find her voice and find a way to stand up for the injustice.
So we give this book 5 stars. This book is an amazing read and it's perfect for this time in the world. It gives people, including us, a perspective on people experiences and injustice. This isn't the kind of book we would recommend for just one audience because it's the kind of book that should be recommended for everyone. You're guaranteed to fall in love with the main character, Star. He's a solid character and so are so many of the others. Pick up this read, it's perfect.
Okay, guys, so now we're going into the spoiler part. So if you haven't read the book, you can just click out now and go read the book. But if you have read the book, continue watching to hear our spoiler review.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about our favorite characters. And for me, to be honest, all of the characters were great except for Haley, the cop, King, like all of the obvious ones. And the fact that I can't decide between Star, Maya, Chris, Seven, Little Sakani, Star's parents, Uncle Carlos, Savante, Kenya, maybe more, proves the fact that almost all of the characters were God tier. Star is really relatable, which I absolutely love when I read a book. Maya is that friend that everyone loves, and she's super likable. Chris is a kind boyfriend that actually wanted to know everything about Star, no matter how uncomfortable, which is what we need. And Seven is that overprotective older brother that everyone without one wants, like me. And I love Star's parents as well. There's so many more, but I won't continue. The point is that I don't always like as many characters as I did in this book, and the ones I don't like are just bad and either don't know it or they do, which are both bad things.
My favorite character, hands down, has to be Star. I know she's the main character, but I just love how powerful she is in the book and like how it ends at the end of the book when she goes to the riot and speaks. Another character I like is her mom. She was always there for her, especially when Khalil died. Chris is a very great boyfriend to Star, even when he found out that she knew Khalil and she hadn't told him before, and he comforted her. One character I absolutely love is Seven. Even though I don't have an older brother and I can't relate to Star, but I would want an older brother like Seven who can protect and watch over me. All overall, these are some of the characters that I really love.
So now we're going into our favorite parts. And my favorite part, although there was like a negative aspect attached to it because the riots were happening, each part where Devonte, Seven, and Star were kind of like teasing Chris, they made me laugh, and it was one of the more lighthearted parts of the book. There were a lot of those, but these stood out to me. I wish I could read it, but I don't own the book. Um, some good parts were when they quizzed him, like when they asked if he ate green bean casserole, and since he did it, he passed as black. And because he considered mac and cheese a full meal and put breadcrumbs on it, he was considered not black. They also made fun of him about things how white people love to split up in movies, and he ends up using that line later in the book. I love Angie Thomas's attention to detail here. And then he goes and asks them about why their names are so unusual because it's only fair that he gets to ask the question. And then they have a debate on what names are considered normal and not normal. And that it's really the fact that the names are just uncommon. And this is why I love all of the characters. And we got to see each of their personalities portrayed, which I really love.
My favorite part is the part between Haley and Star in chapter 11 when the students decide to have a protest, even though it's a part with one of the characters that I really dislike. It's still one of my favorite parts. This part made me kind of angry because of Haley. In this part I will source from the book. It says, I mean it's kind of messed up that they were protesting a drug dealer's death, but thi- but at this point, it kind of made me mad because in the book, she would associate anyone in Garden Heights other than Star as a drug dealer. You might think, Nia, this sounds like your least favorite part, but my favorite part actually comes after this because Star finally stops following Haley around like I'm not gonna let her be like this anymore, and she stood up for herself against Haley, and that was really my favorite part of the book.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about least favorite parts. And this is probably obvious, but the part when the cop killed Khalil was my least favorite part, and it's the worst part in the book. The fact that this isn't a true story, but is at the same time, is just sick and crazy. And it didn't happen, but it did so many times in real life at the same time, if that makes any sense. He pulled him over for something minor and ended up killing him instead of giving him a ticket or something. He claims he saw a gun in the car door when it was really a hairbrush and was not even being held by him. In real life, this has happened countless times and not taken seriously. It's good that it's now beginning to be taken seriously with George Floyd's tragic death. And the fact that 17-year-old girl, I believe, I think Star was 17, the
Mhm.
fact that a 17-year-old girl was there when Khalil was killed and also witnessed another friend get killed when she was 10 must be the most horrible thing to imagine. Both Natasha, the girl Star saw killed at 10, and Khalil were part of a best friend circle with her, and she ended up being the only one left as a result of basically the same thing. It's just saddening to see, to think that this still happens and that our Black lives are mistreated every day because of racism, and it should not be tolerated in any way. I could go out on a rant, but to be honest, I have so much more to learn about the history of racism and systematic racism. The point is that Black Lives Matter, our lives matter, and it never needs to be any more complicated than that because we're human beings and our lives simply matter, and that is my least favorite part.
Two least favorite parts. My least favorite part is when Haley would talk about Star's Tumblr. I just think that she should have not judged Star and her Tumblr. Star wanted to express her emotions, and Haley thought that her Tumblr was weird, and that's one reason I really don't like Haley. My other least favorite part is when Khalil got shot. I was more mad than sad at that part because it's not just a fiction thing that happened in the book. This happens all the time. George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and even more. We shouldn't have to go through this when they say we're in the land of the free. We're not. If black people are getting shot because we look like a threat. When Khalil got shot, I was very mad and angry. I kind of wanted to go into the book and scream at the cop. It made me even more emotional because Star was there and she already lost one friend to this, and now she was losing another. And they just automatically assumed that the hairbrush was a gun and shot him. It didn't even get me, and don't even get me started on the consequence. You you can't compare the book to the movie, but just one moment I remember from the movie is when they brought Star to the police station after they shot Khalil, and they were asking questions that weren't about the cop. They were asking questions if Khalil did drugs or anything that they could have accused him of, so the cop would not get in trouble.
So, overall, this book was amazing. One of my favorite books ever, and it gets better every time I read it. As a black girl, I could relate to the little details Angie Thomas pointed out, and she made Star so relatable that it made me love the book even more. The way we got to see people like Haley, the racist white friend, who doesn't think she's racist, and Brian, the terrified for nothing cop, is what made the book better. There are people just like them in this world, sadly, and they all play a part in what doesn't change people's views about black people. This book is fictional and teaches people a lot, despite the fact despite that fact, because there are people who live in those situations and are human beings. We are all human.
The last thing we want to talk about is a quick comparison between the movie and the book. As some of you know, there's a movie made out of this book, which is actually free on platforms right now. The book is better, of course, because of the details it has, but the movie is also really good. I think that Haley was portrayed just like how she was in the book, which is good because people need to see how ignorant and racist people can be. I really love that they had Amanda Stenberg. I think I pronounced her last name right. I don't know. Play Star. I think she portrayed her very well and had that emotion very well. One part I really liked during the movie was the scene between Haley and Star, and you could see the anger on Star's face. I just want to say thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe for more videos. Comment down below some book review, some books we should review, and some books we should read. Thanks for watching. Bye, guys.